Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning. So today I would like to continue our second part for last lecture, assortable diagram, which is the topic today is heat treatment. Okay, so as you all know, heat treatment, we got some of heat treatment which is to improve the properties and mechanical properties or characteristic of the material itself. So various heating and cooling process performed to effect structural change in a material, which in turn affects its mechanical properties. So the purpose is to improve the characteristic or mechanical properties of the material itself. And then most common application are on metal. So most common bukan maksud kata all. Most common selalunya treatment ni kita lakukan ke atas besi. So similar treatment are performed on glass ceramic, tempered glass and also powder metal and ceramic. So heat treatment dekat ceramic pun ada juga untuk macam second year dulu kamu belajar whiteware, kamu buat treatment glazing apa semua tu untuk jadikan from the ceramic into a glass. Tapi suhunya adalah berbeza. So heat treatment in manufacturing, heat treatment operation are performed on metal work part at various time during their manufacturing sequence. To soften a metal for forming prior to shaping. So ni first the purpose heat treatment, and the second one is to relieve strain hardening that occur during forming, to strengthen and harden the metal near the end of the manufacturing sequence. So okay, firstly kita akan tengok apa itu annealing. Annealing is one of the process of heat treatment. Heating and soaking metal at suitable temperature for a certain time and slowly cooling. Okay, maksudnya dia punya point adalah dekat slowly cooling ni. Slowly cooling ni adalah point untuk annealing. So reason for annealing, reduce hardness and brittleness. Maksudnya besi kamu bila carbon terlalu tinggi ataupun memang sifat besi itu sendiri adalah hardness and brittle. Bila brittle dia senang pecah. So untuk apa kita nak reduce dia punya hardness and brittle? Untuk elak dia mudah pecah ataupun patah. Tapi macam saya duk bagi tahu sebelum ni pun, high brittleness, less ductile. High ductile, less brittleness and high hardness. And then alter microstructure to obtain desirable mechanical properties. Soften metal to improve machinability for or formability. Maksudnya kita nak mudahkan dia lagi untuk machining for the next process of the metal part. Kalau terlalu keras, bila mesin kena jam mesin dia terus pecah atau patah. Recrystallize cold work metals, relieve residual stress induced by shaping. Annealing of steel, kita ada dua jenis annealing of steel, full annealing and normalizing. So full annealing is heating and soaking the alloy in the austenite region. Tengok balik apa itu austenite region. Boleh refer balik graph TTT diagram, temperature, time temperature transformation ataupun IT diagram, isothermal transformation, followed by slow cooling to produce cost per light, untuk menghasilkan cost per light. So usually associate with low and medium carbon steel. Then normalizing, the second one is normalizing, similar heating and soaking cycle as in full annealing but faster cooling rate. Okay, ada tim yang dah buat normalizing, annealing, boleh faham macam mana itu annealing. Annealing kamu akan panaskan dan biarkan dia menyejuk, kemudian after a certain time kamu akan off furnace. Bila off furnace, dia akan biarkan sampel dalam tu, biarkan dia menyejuk dalam furnace. Normalizing, kita akan buat keluarkan sejukkan dalam suhu bilik. So itu panggil normalizing. Results in fine particle per light, higher strength and hardness but lower ductility. Sebab apa dia lower ductility? Sebab dia high strength and hardness, sebab dia sejuk cepat daripada berbanding annealing. So annealing to reduce work hardening. Cold work parts are often annealed to reduce strain hardening and increase ductility by allowing strain hardened metal to recrystallize partially or completely. When annealing is performed to allow for further cold working of the part, it is called a process anneal. When no subsequent deformation will be accomplished, it is simply called an anneal. So tadi kita tengok annealing untuk reduce work hardening. Work hardening contoh sama juga macam saya kata, bila nak shaping, nak forming, nak machining, so dia akan jadi susah kalau besi itu terlalu keras. And then annealing for stress relief, maksudnya nak mengurangkan ketegangan. Bila terlalu keras, maksudnya dia terlalu tegang. Bila tegang, dia senang pecah atau patah. So bila kamu buat annealing, dia akan release dia punya stress. Annealing operation are sometimes performed solely to relieve residual stress caused by prior shape processing or fissure welding. It is called stress relief annealing. They help to reduce distortion and dimensional variation that might otherwise result in the stress part. Maksudnya macam ada yang setengah part dia terlalu cekang, ataupun kat sini dia high ductility, high brittleness. So bila kita annealing, kita panaskan, dia akan melembutkan. So useful engineering alloy strength and ductility. Ductility in metal and alloy allow them to be deformed plastically by various fabrication process into desired shape without fracturing. Okay, kita tengok dia nak fabricate. Untuk fabrication dia mudah tanpa patah, without fracturing. During plastic deformation or cold working, increase in strength due to increased generation and rearrangement of dislocation. Okay, yang ni kena tengok balik stress strain diagram dekat mana yang dipanggil elastic, plastic dan breaking. So dekat plastic deformation dia naikkan lagi, sebab apa, dia dah kurangkan dekat ujung, dia naikkan. Dia dah kurangkan, kalau tidak dekat sini dia dah kurangkan. Okey, yang ni dia akan jadi panjang. Bila dipanaskan, dia akan jadi memanjang dia punya plastic deformation. To make cold work metal ductile, kita akan melakukan annealing. During annealing, highly distorted cold work structure is partly or completely returned to a softer, more ductile structure with fewer dislocation. So kita akan tengok annealing and normalizing. Apa bezanya annealing dan normalizing? Full annealing, hypo and eutectic steel heated to 40 degrees C above austenite ferrite boundary AC3. Okay, sini. Held for necessary time and cool slowly to RT in furnace, room temperature, in furnace. Okay, ini point dia, in furnace. Kena bezakan yang tu. For hyper austenite in two phase gamma plus Fe3C iron carbide about 40 degrees C above eutectic temperature. Maksudnya 40 degree atas eutectic temperature. Bukannya 40 degree C kamu panaskan 40 degree C, so yang tu tak ada effect. Okay. So microstructure, hypo-eutectic steel after full annealing, we got it. Pro-eutectic, alpha and pellet. So boleh tengok dekat diagram yang sebelah sini, macam mana from the AC3, AC2, AC1, apa yang berlaku bila berlaku proses annealing. So proses annealing used for stress relief, macam saya beritahu tadi, untuk stress relief. Applied to hypo-eutectic steel which is below than 0.3% of carbon at temperature below eutectic temperature, which is temperature between 550 degrees C and 650 degrees C. So around this area, which is a process annealing. So full annealing adalah dekat sini. Then cold work, plastic deformation of a metal, example rolling, extrusion, etc. may be necessary to achieve this required shape. So kalau besi kamu terlalu keras tanpa melakukan heat treatment, masuk jar rolling terus dia pecah. Okay, itu maksud pasal apa kamu kena melakukan annealing. So the effect of deformation to elongate grain. Ini ya, daripada grain yang ni before deformation, selepas rolling dia berlaku dislocation dan pemanjangan grain. Daripada pendek ini dia jadi panjang. So ni shaping ataupun rolling punya proses. With an accompanying increase in the grain surface per unit volume. An increase in dislocation density and an increase in the entanglement of dislocation. The effect of cold work on the grain structure and dislocation density. So ini maksud cold work. Then this part is quite important, so saya bagi tahu kat dia. Microstructural change occur during annealing, subdivided into three major process, which is first recovery, the second one is recrystallization, and the third one is grain growth. What is recovery? Recovery is cold work metal is heated to temperature so that this location can be rearranged into lower energy configuration. Maksudnya dia nak susun balik energi daripada macam keras high strength, dia susun balik. Ini realignment. Maksudnya daripada berselerak, bila berlaku proses recovery, dia jadi sekata. Kedudukan dia jadi sekata. So distress relief heat treatment, mechanical and physical properties introduced by cold working start to return to the value of metal before cold working. In case of iron and low carbon steel, during recovery, internal stress are relieved and electrical resistivity is decreased due to elimination of some crystal imperfections. As recovery proceed, this location climb and rearrange in more orderly manner. Maksudnya dalam recovery process dia rearrange balik dalam bentuk orderly manner. So the climb mechanism enable this location to form walls of new cell, which is we call it subgrain. The formation of low angle grain boundaries to form subgrain is called polygonization and proceed. So lukis gambar dan terangkan what is recovery. So the second one is recrystallization. When cold work metal is heated to high enough temperature, new strain free grains formed by migration of large angle boundaries of high mobility. The new re-X grain much larger than subgrain. Yang ini tadi adalah subgrain. Macam mana apa yang kita panggil subgrain, new cell kita panggil subgrain, and then dia lagi besar daripada subgrain. Maksudnya dia recrystallize, dia berkumpul balik. Selepas dia berkumpul, dia akan membesar. So the last part is grain growth. Continue annealing structure promote the formation of more stable grain structure. Larger grain growth will stop when grain boundaries, GB is grain boundaries, movement is prevented by impurities and substructure. Okay, what is normalizing? Normalizing steel heated about 40 degrees C above the AC3 or ACM. So dia panaskan 40 degrees C atas daripada AC3 ni. Panaskan AC3 or ACM. For desired time and cool in still air. Still air maksudnya open, luar daripada furnace. Microstructure of hypo-heated type, steel, pro-heated type, alpha and fine perlite. Ini apa yang dapat daripada normalizing. So the purpose of normalizing to refine the grain structure, to reduce segregation in casting or fogging, and thus provide more uniform structure, and then to harden steel. Maksud tadi kamu dah lembutkan, bila normalizing dia akan keras sikit. Heat treatment to form martensite consists of two steps: austenizing and quenching. Austenizing is heating the steel to a sufficiently high temperature for a long enough time to convert it entirely or partially to austenite. Ya, ini dia punya point. High temperature for a long enough time. Sebab apa? Nak convert entirely or partially to austenite. Maksudnya nak convert keseluruhan kamu punya sampel ataupun half into austenite. Tengok balik apa itu sifat-sifat austenite. Quenching, cooling the austenite rapidly. Okay, ini dia punya point. Rapidly. Apa itu quenching? Rapidly. Enough to avoid passing through the nose of TTT curve. Time, temperature, transformation diagram curve ni. Yang ada hari tu saya tunjuk. Dia terus rapid cool. Okay, this is the TTT curve. So dia tak melalui pun nose diagram ni untuk quenching. Dia terus terus turun ke bawah. Okay, quenching. Austenizing, again taking a steel with 0.6% carbon or greater and heating to the austenite region. Rapid quench to trap the carbon in the crystal structure called martensite. Quench requirements determined from isothermal transformation diagram, IT diagram. Depending on how fast steel must be quenched from IT diagram. Okay, so quenching media and cooling rate, macam saya beritahu sebelum ni, quenching ada dia punya media dia, either water or oil. So this is various quenching media are used to affect cooling rate. Setiap ini memberi cooling rate yang berbeza. First is brine or salt water, usually agitated, fastest cooling rate. Maksudnya bila kamu keluarkan daripada furnace, terus masukkan dalam salt water, yang tu yang paling faster. Still fresh water, air biasa. Still oil, air minyak. Still ni maksudnya dia tak bergerak. Still dia tegak. Air slowest cooling rate. Yang ni air is more to so keluarkan kamu ada air yang lain, bukannya dalam suhu bilik. Adding 10% of sodium hydroxide or salt will have twice the cooling rate. The faster the cooling, the more likely are internal stress, distortion and crack in the product. So ini some of the disadvantage of quenching. Sometimes bila dia terlalu cepat, dia akan membentuk crack. Okay, and then tempering. Annealing dah, normalizing dah, quenching and then tempering. Steel is usually harder than necessary and too brittle for practical use after being hardened. Severe internal stress are set up during the rapid cooling of the metal. A heat treatment applied to martensite to reduce brittleness, increase toughness and relieve stress. Treatment involves heating and soaking at a temperature below the E30 for about 1 hour, followed by slow cooling. The rate of cooling usually has no effect on the metal structure during tempering, result in precipitation of very fine carbide particle from the martensite iron carbon solution, gradually transforming the crystal structure from body-centered tetragonal to body-centered cubic. New structure is called tempered martensite. Ini boleh tengok balik macam mana pembentukan martensite yang previous slide. So tempering, therefore the metal is usually permitted to cool in still air. Okay, dia permitted cool in still air. Temperature used for tempering are normally much lower than the hardening temperature. Maksudnya untuk tempering kita harden metal suhu 900 katakan. So untuk tempering kita akan kurangkan sikit. So graf dia akan naik, turun. Okey, macam ni. So ini adalah graf untuk tempering. Kalau macam yang lain, dia naik, soaking, dia turun. Naik, soaking, turun. So tempering dia panaskan balik, tapi below hardening punya temperature. The higher the tempering temperature used, the softer the metal become. Sama juga, dia dah sejukkan, dia panaskan balik, dia akan lembutkan balik besi tersebut. High speed steel is one of the few metal that become harder instead of softer after it is tempered. Tempering of plain carbon steel, martensitic steel is heated at temperature below the temperature to make steel softer and ductile. Maksudnya dia panaskan untuk dia lembut, jadi lembutkan. Okay, tengok ni. Dia sejukkan, kemudian dia panaskan balik, tak sampai pun dekat suhu dia panas awal-awal tadi. So the steel is austenite above AE1. Okay, ni quench at rapid rate, which is martensite. We got it. The microstructure, when rapid cool, we got the martensite. Steel then reheat at temperature below temperature below AE1. So ini yang tadi awal tadi, dia rapid cool, kemudian dipanaskan balik bawah suhu yang ni. To soften martensite transform to iron carbide particle in metric ferrite. So microstructural change in martensite during tempering. Martensite, which is a metastable structure, decomposed during heating. In light martensite of low carbon plain carbon steel, high dislocation density. Dislocation provide lower energy size for carbon atom. Thus, when low carbon metal steel tempered in the 20 degrees C to 200 degrees C. The carbon atoms segregate themselves to lower energy side. So this is the tempering temperature. Apa yang berlaku untuk 0.2, 200 degree C cementite, which is perodite, 200 to 700 degree C cementite, sphaerodite. Ini bentuk yang dia dapat. So effect of tempering temperature on hardness of plain carbon steel. Hardness decrease as temperature increase above 200 degree C up to 700 degree C. Sebab apa? Hardness dia decrease sebab dia dah sejuk, kemudian dia panaskan balik. Kalau yang ni tadi, quenching tadi, hardness memang sangat tinggi, tapi dia brittle. Hardness decrease as the carbon content decrease. Sebab apa dia decrease? Dia beritahu sebab carbon content decrease, sebab dia dah berlaku semula pemanasan. This is due to diffusion of carbon atom from interstitial lattice side to form iron carbide precipitate. Okay, ini kamu tengok boleh nampak percentage of carbon. Yang atas sekali 1.2 percentage of carbon steel, 0.8 and 0.35. Mana dia ini hardness. Lagi rendah percentage carbon, hardness dia lagi rendah. Okay, Aus tempering. Aus tempering is an isothermal treatment that produces a binite structure in some plain carbon steel. The process provides an alternate procedure to quenching and tempering for increasing the toughness and ductility of some steel. In the Aus tempering process, the steel is first austenized, then quenched in a molten subbath at a temperature just above the MS temperature of the steel, held isothermally to allow the austenite to binite transformation to take place, and then cool to room temperature in air. Ini adalah Aus tempering. So the final structure of an Aus tempered heat-treated plain carbon steel is binite. Ini rasanya pun saya dah tunjuk dah apa itu binite. So the advantage of Aus tempering are improved ductility. Sebab apa dia improve ductility? Sebab dia berlaku semula pemanasan. So kalau dia terus sejuk je tu, dia quenching, ductile dia terlalu rendah sebab dia high brittle. And then advantage dia, improve ductility and impact resistance of certain steel over those value obtained by conventional quenching and tempering, and decrease distortion of the quenched material. Maksudnya bila dia dah serabut-serabut macam tu, dia panaskan balik, okay, dia release stress balik. But the advantage of Aus tempering over quenching and tempering are the need of a special molten subbath and the fact that the process can be used for only a limited number of steel. Maksudnya tak semua besi boleh buat tempering. Certain besi sahaja yang boleh melalui proses tempering. Sebabnya bila dia berlaku quenching, dia nak panaskan balik, dia akan berlaku crack. Bila berlaku crack tu, dia terus, besi tu terus tak boleh pakai. Okay, hardenability, the relative capacity of a steel to be hardened by transformation to metal side. It determines the depth below the quenched surface to which the steel is hardened. Steel with good hardenability can be hardened more deeply below the surface and do not require high cooling rate. Maksudnya, cooling rate dia tak perlu tinggi. Bila dia terlalu tinggi, dia akan bagi disadvantage. Hardenability does not refer to the maximum hardness that can be attained. Hardenability of steel is increased through alloying. So bila kamu buat alloying, alloy lah, gabung dua metal, so dia akan meningkatkan hardness of the steel. Alloying element having the greatest effect of chromium, manganese and molybdenum. The mechanism by which this alloying element work is to extend the time before the start of the austenite to pearlite transformation. Yang ni kena tengok balik graf gambar rajah rama-rama tu. So apa yang berlaku bila bertambahnya carbon content or alloying element dan temperature. So daripada pearlite dia nak ke austenite, ferrite, austenite, pearlite apa semua tu, apa yang berlaku. Sebab tu graf ni amat penting. So in effect, the TTT curve, time temperature transformation curve, is moved to the right, thus permitting slower quenching rate. Okay, yang ni yang curve ni tadi, bila dia ke kanan, quenching dia jadi rendah. So Gemini and quench test for hardenability. Ini salah satu contoh kamu nak test untuk quenching hardenability. So Gemini and quench test. A is setup showing and quench of the test specimen. B, typical pattern of hardness reading as a function of distance from quench end. Ini the test, dia sejukkan. Ini adalah test specimen. Okay, ini bila dia sejukkan, bila nampak kat sini paling kena, ni paling hujung, distance from quench end. So dia semakin rendah, hardness dia makin rendah. Yang ni sebab dia kena dulu. So ni paling brittle sekali, tempat yang kena dulu. Sebab tu yang tadi dia kata slower quenching rates. Okay. Then hardness of plain carbon steel. Hardness of plain carbon steel as a function of carbon content in martensite and perlite, which is aniline. Bila aniline, carbon content sama tapi hardness dia tinggi. So itu beza plain martensite. Bila structure, dalam satu structure tu dia ada banyak martensite structure, dia lagi kuat. Precipitation hardening, ini saya tak sure, saya tak ingat ada bintang ke tak. Tapi bintang sajalah. What is a precipitation hardening? Heat treatment that precipitate fine particles that block the movement of dislocation and thus strengthen and harden the metal. Principal heat treatment for strengthening alloy of aluminium, copper, magnesium, nickel and other non-ferrous metal. Also utilized to strengthen a number of steel alloy that cannot form martensite by the usual heat treatment. And then the condition for precipitate hardening. The necessary condition for whether an alloy system can be strengthened by precipitation hardening is the presence of sloping solvers line in the phase diagram. Ini kena tengok balik lecture sebelum ni, apa itu solvers line yang kamu nak kira-kira apa semua tu. Solvers line tu. A composition in this system that can be precipitation hardened is one that contains two equilibrium phase at room temperature, but which can be heated to a temperature that dissolve the second phase. Precipitation hardening. Okay, ini yang solvers tadi, alpha plus liquid, alpha plus beta. Ini yang kamu tarik line, kamu nak kira macam mana solid, liquid apa semua tu. So A is a phase diagram of an alloy system consisting of metal A and B that can be precipitation hardened, and B is a heat treatment. One is solution treatment, second one is quenching, third one is precipitation treatment. Dia lebih kurang dengan tempering. Dia sejuk, dia panaskan, dia sejukkan dan dia panaskan semula below hardening temperature. Sequence in precipitation hardening. First, solution treatment, also known as solenoidizing. Second one is quenching, cool to room temperature. Third one is precipitation treatment. It is necessary to form finely dispersed precipitate. The fine precipitate in the alloy impedes dislocation movement during deformation by forcing the dislocation to either cut through the precipitate particles or go around them. Precipitation hardening for binary alloy. Binary ni macam yang saya bagi tahu awal-awal dulu. Binary is dua, gabungan daripada dua jenis metal. Ada juga alloy yang dia gabungkan tiga jenis metal. We call it ternary diagram. So kita setakat binary diagram. First, solution treatment. Alloy is heated, sama juga yang ni tadi, solution, quenching, precipitate treatment. Solution treatment, alloy is heated to a temperature between solvents and solidus temperature and soaked until a uniform solid solution structure is produced. TS is selected as for our alloy carbon because it lies midway of between the solvents and solidus phase boundary, ni boundary ya, bukan RIY, of solid solution alpha. And then the second one is quenching, rapidly cool to room temperature to create a super saturated solid solution. Quenching sama juga, proses quenching dia rapid cooling. So the structure of alloy carbon after quenching consists of a super saturated solid solution of di alpha phase. Then the third one is aging. Aging ni penuaan, sama juga macam aging kita pun menua. So aging, the solution heat treated and quench alloy. Alloy is heated to a temperature below Tp, below Ts to cause precipitation of fine particle of the beta phase. Okay, that's all for my part. And then if you got any question regarding this topic or whatever topic that I have show you, don't hesitate to call me or just PM me. Kalau rasa malu nak bertanya dalam group, okay, boleh directly contact saya lah. Okay, so good luck for your final exam. And then okay, that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.